guys, my name is Michelle Stilley and I am with the Joyce Agency. We are a local plumbing manufacturers rep in the DC, Virginia, and Maryland market, and I'm here today to talk to you about some of the basics of stainless steel sinks. In today's market, there are so many different options available for you when you look at stainless steel sinks that it can be a little overwhelming. So we're going to go over some of the basics of stainless steel sinks, and we call them the 5 S's. So the 5 S's are strength, surface, sound, shape, and size. So let's talk about strength and surface. There are two main components that we look at to determine the strength and surface of a stainless steel sink: gauge and type. When we talk about gauge, we're talking about the thickness of the stainless. So to measure gauge, you want to take 1 inch of stainless steel, and if you divide that into 16 sheets, that is what we define as 16 gauge. If we take that same inch of stainless steel and divide it into 18 sheets, that's what we call 18 gauge. And as you can see here, this is a nice visual of the different thicknesses that you might encounter when you're looking at stainless steel sinks. When we talk about the type of stainless steel, what we're looking at is the composition or the recipe of the different elements that are combined to make the stainless steel. And the primary elements that we're looking at are iron, chromium, nickel, and manganese. You often see the designation of 18.8 or 1810, which is essentially the recipe of the stainless steel. So when we talk about that, we're talking about the ratio of chromium to nickel in the individual types of stainless steel. That ratio contributes to the strength and durability of the sink, the corrosion resistance, because no one wants a rusty sink, the brightness or the tone of the sink, as well as the formability of the sink, which leads us to our next set of S's, the shape and the size. A very common request is, I want a larger sink, but here's one instance where size matters, but not in the way you think. It's easy for people to come in and say, I really want a deeper sink, thinking that's what's going to get them more usable space. But really what they're looking for is capacity, to which there are two major contributing factors: radius and taper. So when we talk about radius, radius refers to the corners of the sides and the bottoms of the sink, so where they kind of come together. The tighter corners, as you can see here from this image, provide more surface area on the bottom, and you can have anywhere from like a 3-inch radius all the way down to a 0 radius. So when we talk about taper, taper refers to the angle of the walls as well as the bottom of the sink. So when we have less taper, we have straighter sides and a flatter bottom, which allows you to put more beer glasses or wine glasses or whatever it is that you're entertaining with in your sink without them falling into each other, as you can see here. So when we choose a sink with a tighter radius and straighter sides, that's when we can fit all of the dishes from your next gathering into the sink while you spend more quality time with your family. So let's talk about the last S, and we're talking about sound. So as I'm trying to get my kids to help out more in the kitchen, I'm sure some of you have experienced the fork thrown across the room into the sink like a basketball. No? Is that just me? Just my house? Okay. Well, to me, that tinny sound of the fork dropping on the stainless is kind of like nails on a chalkboard. It's just a sound that just kind of gets under my skin. So what are some of the things that we can do to compensate for sound? The big thing that we look for is we're looking for a large pad that is strategically located underneath the sink. Those pads help reduce the vibration, which limits the sound. They can also help maintain water temperature for those occasions that you actually have to soak a dish, which is a point of contention in my household. And it can also help limit condensation should you ever need to fill your sink with ice for whatever reason, cocktails, beers, you choose. Here's a great example and some images of the underneath of some sinks and how we locate those pads on the bottom as well as on the sides of the sink. One thing that we do want to avoid when we're looking at some sound deadening features is we want to avoid sprays, which are not so friendly to the environment. They tend to contain high VOCs, as well as once the sink is sprayed, it can no longer be recycled. So it's not nearly as environmentally friendly when we have spray on the underneath of our sinks. A quick review of what to look for when selecting your stainless steel sink. The 5 S's. You want to look for strength, surface, shape, size, as well as sound. Again, I'm Michelle Stilley with the Joyce Agency, and we appreciate you spending time with us today. If you're looking for more videos like this, I would encourage you to follow us on social media. And if you would like some additional training on any of our lines, please head over to our website at thejoyceagency.com and check out our training tab. Thanks again, and we hope to see you soon.